Severance, Season 2, Episode 5. Oh no. Oh no, we're back. We're back in the hallways. Last episode was such a nice break. It was so beautiful. So beautifully shot and filmed and executed. Now we're back to this. Back to long hallway shots. Welcome back to Severance. Okay. It's O&D. What manner of unspeakable horrors are they producing now?
Do you have him?
Do you have what? The waffles? Okay, that's not so bad. Could be anything. I mean, it's dentistry, right? We need good teeth for all the smiling pictures we take. For the wall of smiles. It's all a red herring. The whistling is not creepy. Do we even know that we're the bad guys? Do we know definitively that Lumon is bad? What evidence do we have? All right, so they're a little bit dishonest. I mean, it's a company, and they got a lot on their plate. They lie to the innies for the outies' benefit, you could say. You could argue. Just because Kiryu has an old-timey voice, we're supposed to think he's sinister? I'm not convinced. Just because he may have murdered his brother in the forest? I feel like we're about to unlock something. Something new. It's probably a question. I do feel like so far they've upped their game in terms of the cinematography in Season 2. It was always good, but... Okay, they're doing something down there. Could be dentistry. Could be just for teeth. Could be torture and everything in between. Okay. Yeah, there was a big cliffhanger at the end of episode 3. And I guess also last episode is kind of a cliffhanger.
Man, he fell off a rope, apparently.
Sure he did. At what point do you get suspicious?
Jesus, it's like it never ends with these guys.
Right. She gets it.
No
No.
idea.
And he willfully is choosing not to know in part.
How's the old burning shit into your eyeballs thing going?
I got some better.
I still can't get it to last long enough.
Which he's not talking about or alluding to. This is the applesauce from the intro. I'm guessing it's applesauce. Looks kind of stringy though.
Hey, I'm sorry. I gotta get to work.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, alright.
I can't keep coming in
This is
and
risky.
out.
This is dangerous.
Think they're watching us?
Definitely. Absolutely they're watching you. Actually, it was her that gave me the idea, because I was making the thumbnail for the episode where she murdered that dude. And it occurred to me, it's sort of a new light, like, oh yeah, she murdered a dude. You fall into it, I guess, because you're primed to think that, you know, big company doing shady things. If you don't kill them, they'll kill you. Like, there must be something more nefarious behind the scenes. But actually, thinking about it today, I'm like, you know, they're not the most ethical, clearly. But they do seem to have a lot of influence, and yet, they do seem to toe a certain line, at least with the outies. And yeah, the security guy was stalking Mark, but I don't know, she took a bat to his head pretty easily and thoroughly. That was murder. We haven't seen Lumon murder. Could she be a little bit paranoid? There's a solid chance that Lumon actually is terrible and all that is warranted. There's also the possibility that that was a massive overreaction on her part, and now Mark is maybe living with a murderer.
It depends on how dumb you played it.
He played it pretty dumb.
Hey, when do
Mark
we keep
plays
going?
it pretty dumb sometimes. Okay, they're not finished. Okay, that explains it. Okay, they pulled out. I'm probably like the only person who's like holding out any hope for Lumon, not to just be like cartoonishly evil, but whatever. I'm gonna double down on it.
What's he at? 78%?
81.
Cold
Was it
Harbor.
Friday?
It won't be much
That's
longer.
high.
You can do this.
Imagine she like...
Back down there.
Yeah, I was about to say, imagine if she actually doubles down, speaking of doubling down, and goes back and is like, no, for real this time, I'm the innie. That would be a balls move.
It won't be you. It will be your innie.
Okay. I kind of want to see Audi try
Tried to
again.
Kill me. And then the other one tried to kill me.
Yeah, Helly has not had a great time,
They're fucking animals.
and that's the takeaway.
We need to clean this up. Milchick's many errors this weekend have forced our hand.
Damn, poor Milchick, man. He does everything for this company.
Father encouraged it.
Gee, I wonder what father's priorities are. But what is your daughter's life in the face of immortality or something?
Mark S. won't work without her.
And the work is mysterious and important.
Mark S. has a lot of leverage.
So we must give him her.
Do they even know what Cold Harbor is? Maybe they've been given like a surface level version of what Cold Harbor is. Yeah, you are risking your life. Again. It's good to see she actually has some reservations about it after having none the first time.
Good morning, Heliar.
Who the fuck are you?
Oh, yeah, it's her first time in the season. Oh yeah, last time she was alive, she was in the meeting or the conference. That's weird. Damn, Irving saved her life. Very interested to see where Milchick goes. Milchick could have some arcs. For real. Speaking of Milchick, for that matter, I think the whole Severance theme can also just be broadly applied to spirituality. I mean, in a bunch of ways. Like, one, the thing I mentioned about how in the two halves of human experience, the material and the spiritual, we've become just really great at the material. And because we're good at it, and because we can quantify it, and quantified things get more attention, we sort of double down on it and over-attribute that as a solution to our problems. And just the way things work out, if you're used to operating in a certain frame, when a problem emerges, you return to a familiar solution, the one that you know, to solve the problem, which is a major issue if that thing in itself, that process in itself, is what caused the problem in the first place. So like if there's a spiritual deficiency, we're like, we'll just material our way out of it. One interesting way to conceptualize it is maybe like thinking about the peaks. So comparing the peak of what has been possible spiritually, the insights and knowledge and practices we've come up with spiritually, and the heights of our material well-being. I think it's safe to say that while we are probably at least very close to the top, if not at the top, of our material capabilities, we're perhaps not near the top spiritually. Actually, it can be really interesting to look back in that way, right? Because we have kind of a recency bias. We think we are the smartest people that have lived, but you'll have an idea and then you'll do some reading and you'll realize that this goes back 10,000 years, It's not new. It's sort of been forgotten or maybe just fallen out of practice. But another element is, like I was saying in another episode, about how it's hard to really tap into really great, profound things, to try to encapsulate them into like a word or an action or something, especially if that's passed from person to person, has a way of getting condensed and therefore somewhat diluted. And here you have an organization with obvious religious parallels, and you might imagine there's the full spectrum that exists in that, where like there perhaps is maybe some deep, profound meaning in there somewhere. And some people may even still have access to that, but that gets represented in different ways from practitioner to practitioner. So you have like very literal interpreters. You have corporate interests who maybe care less about the deeper meaning and more about like how much revenue did we make this quarter. Which brings me to Milchick, who's interesting because he's a real devout believer, it seems. It seems like this is more than just a job to him. It seems like he takes it very seriously in service, but is kind of undervalued and is not finding his role in what the company actually seems to be and what their real orientation is. That might explain a lot of this disconnect and some of his frustration. Like, I'm doing everything right. Like, I'm serving here. I'm literally getting bit by colleagues, and then I'm leaving that incident to throw a goodbye party as per my job, all in service to Kier, and like they can't even change my screensaver. To further this idea, I think last episode directly covered some of this, because you had Irving, who was a very devout kind of surface level believer, right? Like, just take this literally, take everything they say as truth. This is the ultimate level of the thing, whatever I'm given. And then through the result of his experiences and sort of his awakening, the book and Burji had a crisis of faith, and during his state of desperation, he's thrust into the Arctic Orbo or whatever, encountering a new religious parable that to some extent he lives, right? Like, he goes through the woe in the forest that Kier went through and seems to break through it out of the surface level of their religion into like some kind of deep spiritual awakening where he's unafraid of death. One of the things I really appreciate about the show, and last episode really reinforced it, is that there might be some of it, but to a large extent, more than I expect these days from shows, they reject sort of the easy stand-ins for what emotion we're supposed to feel, right? Like, religion, terrible, evil, corruptive. It's like, no, there are levels to it. It actually might depend more on who you are and to what degree of analysis you're capable of viewing it with and how you use it. So I'm wondering if maybe Milchick doesn't have something really cool happening around that idea somewhere.
Hey.
Who are you? How do we know?
MDR.
We know, but they don't know.
Together again.
Professional as always.
Where's Irving?
And why was he trying to drown me?
Because you're a fucking Egan.
All right, she was awake for that moment.
Are you saying that she was down here as me?
Maybe she still is.
Hey,
You did
I
some.
repeat
Well,
myself.
she
Where's
did some
Irving?
things.
Yeah,
Where is Irving? That's the
I'm
most
so
important
confused.
Answer my question!
Excuse me. Helena Egan, in her executive capacity, was conducting valuable research.
For you. It was all for you. It was for some inequality thing.
He nearly drowned you.
We all know Irving had no intent of murder.
So he is dead.
Or I like to call it pause.
I don't give 3 dry fucks about his Audi.
She doesn't have the right to take my identity.
This continuing war between Innie and Audi, Helly/Helena.
Have you ever heard the story of the Glaxschuppen?
The what? Come again? No, I think it's safe to say I haven't.
Let's assume we haven't.
Yeah, let's assume. I mean, I totally have, but they haven't, so tell them.
In ancient times, the king of Sweden himself was known to go incognito amongst his people in the hopes of learning their true grievances.
Right, yeah, see, it's for you. It's all for you.
Here, Egan himself was known to do so in his ether factories, and Miss Egan was carrying on this noble tradition.
Also for Milchick on the corporate level, there's this weird thing of having a responsibility and having made agreements to do a job, and then uncovering there are things that are perhaps unethical or unpalatable. A lot of these lies fall on Milchick, and I think as a viewer we don't have full information, so maybe he just is a duplicitous person. But it's also possible that like he hates this, but has already crossed that line under the rationale that it's his responsibility, and now just is like so deep in it, which doesn't mean it's not terrible and wrong, but there's a lot to explore there.
It smells like horse shit.
Yeah, Swedish horseshit. And Irving is still dead.
At this point, they don't have a lot of credibility.
Irving B's Audi has departed on
On
an
an
elongated...
We're not talking about the Audi,
Is it
man.
come back or not?
The smart thing would be to say yes, and then just wait for Mark
He
to
is
complete Cold Harbor. Okay, that was honest. To Milchick's credit.
Some actual honesty.
Right. Maybe he's breaking. Maybe he's cracking a little bit. Milchick is in the middle, man.
Time to absorb all that has occurred.
I think if I were to wager a guess, Milchick liked Irving B also. I actually think he likes, I was going to say all of them. He might not like Dylan very much. I just keep coming back to the dance scene, man. I think that's one of the most crucial scenes of the show, at least for Milchick's character. He was like happy to see them having fun. I don't know. Am I crazy? Am I just coping? I just know from a much more limited, less dramatic set of experiences that it can be really tough sometimes to try to balance everything. You have a job, you have management, you value your job for one reason or another. You may have your own qualms. You don't know what's right. You don't know what's for the best necessarily. And sometimes you're asked to do things that either don't hit you quite right, or the people on the other side, the people for whom you're the intermediary between them and management, hate what you're doing or hate what you're sharing with them. And it's like, yeah, I understand all of it at once. And I'm the only person maybe who understands all of it at once because I'm the only one in between. And I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to do anything terrible. And yet, again, doesn't make it right. I reject completely it's just my job as an excuse for wrongdoing. But I still can understand and sympathize. This is just turning into a milkshake love session.
This went well.
Did it? It went.
Allow me to escort you to MDR and help reacclimate you to your work environment.
Yeah, we haven't done a lot of work. Was this team building? Did we team build? We kind of did, didn't we? In a very destructive way. And we also lost someone very valuable. See, Mark has leverage. He doesn't know how much leverage, but he knows he has some leverage. He could make an attempt. What now? Is it a triangle now? It's a triangle. Triangle of sadness.
If you're taking feedback, I hate it.
Same.
I mean, it doesn't really do anything if you just get right back to work. Noted that you hate it.
The Orpo was a
Get back
challenge
to
for
work.
us all in ways expected and not.
Oro was a major experience. That's rough, man. You just deleted his picture.
Careful, Dylan. Words of consequences. I'd hate to rescind certain privileges.
Oh, he's compromised. Big time.
A funeral. Is this MDR's position?
Dude. Little help?
Sure, as long as it's quick.
Quick?
Oh, okay. He's got something else in his mind. Oh boy, here it comes. Be right back. I gotta go cough.
I'm gonna come in. I'm coming in.
All right, welcome.
Are you okay?
No.
No.
Not really.
She finally gave him an "Are you okay?"
You couldn't tell that she wasn't me.
Obviously not.
She did a really good job. It was pretty convincing, I gotta say.
You're like her? I don't know. I don't know who you are.
Maybe
I guess.
Mark liked the Audi one better. Maybe he does know what the difference is. Oh,
It's
you
not my fault that my
poor,
Audi
sweet
hydrated me.
child.
No, totally,
This is
I
so
get it.
sad because she also
Sucks.
likes Mark. And she didn't get to experience any of that, and now he's wary of her and like losing interest. Tragic.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No.
Do you want to hear what happened to me?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
And, let's
yeah.
just try to forget it.
Oh.
Okay.
Damn, Mark's just brutal with women in the show. That's 3 now. He's just broken 3 girls' hearts. Oh, God. Mark. Mark's like, if it's not Gemma, I don't want it. Oh, Mark. Mark. Poor Heliar. That was horribly unfair.
I thought bereavement events were for innies who die on the floor.
Whoa. So that's happened.
Yes. Well, the affections index for Irving B was in the high 60s.
Only 60s? Damn, my affection index was in the 90s.
May I say a question?
You may.
You shouldn't let them have a funeral. It makes them feel like people.
Milchick is a bit of a softie.
That wasn't a question.
Well, she did say a question.
Your first performance review is today, right?
Ooh, it's not good timing. I don't think they're satisfied with his performance.
That was a question.
She's gunning for his spot.
I'll ready the refreshments.
She's the new
You
Milkshake.
focus on the mournful signage.
He's the new Mrs. Kobelvig with the target on his back.
Today we honor Irving B.
Wow, they even made him an Egan graphic.
As such, let us each take 9 seconds to silently remember Irving and thank Kier for our time with him. There.
That
You
was
may now
9
lift your
seconds.
heads and open your eyes. We
Was it
will
9
now have a
seconds?
eulogy from Dylan G.
Man, there's so many great things to say about Irving. The true man of soul. Artistic, passionate, creative.
It's hard to pinpoint
Loyal.
a favorite Irving story. For the least fun guy in the world, he was really fun.
That was pretty well put.
He put the dick in contradiction.
Milchick, man, I love it. This poor man, he's just trying so hard to survive this job. They just don't make it easy for him. He's like, can I just have one day where nothing goes wrong? I have one event that doesn't go off the rails and I don't get bit. The Milchick sympathy party continues.
One time, he was pissed at me for watering down the toner, so he put toner in my water cup.
It's very aggressive.
But I did accidentally take a sip of it later because I forgot he said that.
What does that remind me of? I've done that. I feel like everyone's had a moment like that.
In his final moments, he would have been totally justified in telling me to suck my own fuck.
But instead he told you to hang in there. Just hang in there, whatever that meant.
He was awesome and I miss him.
He was awesome.
You may now briefly partake in Irving's fruit head,
This is just wrong.
whose dark hair is courtesy of the Black Beauty
It's also actually really impressive.
country of Malaysia.
That is the most impressive technology I've seen so far in the show.
Miss Wong,
I guess we're not getting a Miss Swang solo this time. We do get the Irving head made from the Black Beauty watermelon of Malaysia.
But I
you
practice.
can play your piece for me later. Yes?
Uh-oh. I sense some tension between them. Question, are you eating Irving's watermelon head? I probably am. Don't want to waste good Black Beauty watermelon from Malaysia. Not saying I would feel great about it, though.
You okay?
No.
You're not staying?
I gotta get to work, but great ceremony, guys.
Ooh, okay.
Seriously?
Maybe there's more Audi Mark here than...
I mean, isn't it kind of over?
Maybe he doesn't care about Irving because he's Audi.
Why don't you give a shit?
Because he's not dead, he's just not here.
Or maybe just denial.
You tell her Miss Casey's your wife yet?
Wait,
Oh,
what?
oh yeah, right. I can't really tell what's going on with Mark. There's a lot of things it could be, or all those things
Why won't you
combined,
talk
but
to me?
What do you want to talk about, Helly?
I don't know, maybe the fact that Miss Casey's your Audie's wife?
that's old news.
All of it. They know everything we're doing because Helena told them everything we're doing.
That wasn't me.
Right? Hard to separate, though.
Mark,
That I get.
I'm not her. I'm
Just
not.
instinctually. You can know and not feel it at the same time.
Helly.
And how do I know that?
Yeah, I mean, at first,
You don't.
right? But
You
that's
just have to trust
a
me.
crazy reason, or a crazy rationale just in general. I mean, like, you can honestly drive yourself insane with this question. In a relationship, for example, how do I know you didn't betray me? You just don't, and you never will. But that in itself is not proof of something. If you treat possibility of wrongdoing as wrongdoing, man, you're in a world of hurt. Again, sympathetic given that it's just happened, and yet
Not everything here is a lie.
it's crazy that she's saying this too. Remembering how she started. And a lot of that was Mark's influence.
Stop being a fucking asshole.
I mean, I don't know. I guess you couldn't really prove it because Helena would know everything that transpired. I'm sure you could come up with something, some question to prove it. I feel like even if Audi Helly watched extensive video on them, she wouldn't have the memory or understanding for every single inside joke, every single moment. Something that was said in a whisper, I don't know, that you could use to prove actual identity. At least I feel like you could make an attempt.
Your first performance review as department chief. Excited?
He better get an S for effort. I hope there's effort category.
I was just wondering if you could share with me a little how you felt when you received the paintings.
Oh, he's looking for camaraderie here. There's some doubt.
Our experiences here have been similar in some ways.
This is a big moment. She could just totally leave him in the cold here.
Mr. Drummond's waiting.
Oh, there you go. I got the Arctic. Hope that doesn't reflect on his performance review. A little late addition there. Oh, they ate the they ate the sides, so they couldn't bring themselves to eat the face.
Guess this is it. Sorry I let you down.
I mean, I do take some solace in the fact that I'm guessing he can come back. It's possible for him to be re-innied. Like, they don't destroy that part of the brain, right? Seems like a one-way thing on at least, the technology that this company has that they're sharing. I mean, who knows? They could have just goldfished him. Hang in there. Yeah, there it is. He did tell you to hang in there. Maybe he hid something behind the painting. Oh, there's a something. Whoa, he unlocked it. Interesting. Knowing Dylan, he has the whole thing memorized already.
If the review is to take longer than 4 hours, there will be a break for lunch, with the order taken in advance.
Well, I hope that won't be necessary.
Here is the lunch menu.
Ooh, they really delivered that in a terrible, insulting way. I think it's gonna take the full 6.
You received the gift of Kier paintings with grace. Your attendance and your analysis are both in the excellent range.
Wonderful.
Alternatively, and sadly, there have been 3 contentions reported.
That's it? Those are the only positives? This is an evil company. I absolutely could fill like an hour with his positive traits and accomplishments. Maybe I already have cumulatively. That is horribly unfair. Attendance, who the hell cares? That's easy. Milchick has the worst luck and he goes out of his way to remain professional. At least as far as I can remember, his one like real character breaking moment was unnecessarily spilling the marshmallow seed in the forest. Like even that's like, I don't know, just kind of petty. It depends on how you count the lying. I don't think they would count that as an infraction because that's facilitating his job. I don't know when I became such a Milchick fanboy, but here we are. This is a very weird thing to throw in here, but one thing this reminds me of is when I was 16 or 17, I was sent into something of a religious cult for what started as a summer camp and then became a little bit more, which like weird to say, but it was a great experience for me and I got a lot out of it and I owe a lot to that experience, I think. Both because there were great things that I learned a lot from and terrible things I learned a lot from. What was interesting on the terrible side was that I feel like in any kind of group that assembles for religion, but maybe also for any number of things, like I was saying earlier, there's that core thing, which probably objectively there is something to if you can develop the framework for it. But then there's like the weird clinger fish or whatever those fish are that swim behind the shark eating its scraps. It just attracts a strange audience. And the periphery of people I found to be a little bit off-putting, I guess I'll say, where for one thing, there's a little bit of like a clamoring to be holier than thou, but disguised with a holy face. You know, like I'm so filled with love. I really am a great person and I can teach you. I can help you be great like me. Everybody going out of their way to emote religious epiphany. And one of the measures of it is who can exhibit that they've drank more Kool-Aid, if that makes sense. Maybe this sounds cynical. Again, this is not the whole experience. This is just like an element of it I felt. But it was actually mostly for that reason that I distanced myself from it. I just felt uncomfortable in the community. I felt very like sickly, saccharine. But again, what does this mean for Milchick who like, I don't know, he has something, man. He's got something real, I think. What is this? What are we doing? Why are we entertaining these fools?
Which have been investigated and confirmed.
Oh?
I'll bet Miss Wong is reporting him for stuff.
Uses too many big words.
It's not his fault he's educated.
The paperclip was installed back to front, which led to a confusion as to where in the document to begin reading.
Oh, that sounds like a you problem, for real.
You instituted kindness reforms.
Because I'm not Harmony Cobell.
Kindness reforms.
Well, those were his initiatives alone. That's
You
interesting.
arranged an outdoor retreat and team-building occurrence.
Fair. From an employment perspective, that was not a great trip. I will give them that.
It will take place under your stewardship.
Okay, so I'm not fired.
I think it's time to go back to the basics, Seth. To remember these severed workers' greater purpose.
Maybe he's the Agent Smith in this Matrix. They really made a pamphlet for this. Calamitous Ordbo, yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay, so he just was all in and he just had like a little meltdown, a little emotional meltdown there. That was a bad Ordpo for Mark also. And it is interesting, I mean, I'm just making this up now, but it's possible that Milchick's good intentions made it worse. Like you can imagine being a worse person, caring about their humanity less would make them more likely to stay on the rails and do their job and not have these huge rebellions. I mean, maybe the jazz party was overstimulating, you know? Maybe they got pampered a little bit too much. Maybe it's his warm heart that's leading to his undoing professionally. Sometimes giving people more makes them more bitter or brings out more negative emotions. It's weird. It depends on the person.
Hi, Mark.
I don't want to see him become something he's not.
How was the rest of the funeral?
Don't let them corrupt you, Milchick.
Did Miss Wong take notes? I can't wait to read her article about it in that newspaper you showed me. What was it called again? The Bullshit Gazette?
Yeah, that was a lie.
Putting the numbers in the thing.
Refining.
Right?
Yes. Does that sound good?
Whatever you say, Mr. Milchick. Praise Cure.
This is going well. Totally have control over this. No.
Did you and Heliot catch up?
We did.
Did you tell her that you fucked her outie at the Orb?
Oh! No, he did not, actually. We're playing a different game now, I guess.
Believe me.
He's tightening the leash. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you should tell her that. I know it's a tough conversation, but...
They simply referenced a large standard clock near the door. Just hands and numbers and cogs and purpose. Your sovereign boss may own the clock that greets you from the wall, but you get to enjoy its ticking and thus should be happy.
I need to hear this again. I can't risk missing any Rican wisdom. All right, I mean, yeah, I think there's something there with this. It's what I came to think about freedom during Attack on Titan. You work really hard to free yourself of certain things, and then at some point you may realize that you can have all the things you think will free you and still feel trapped, and that there's something more to freedom than is immediately obvious, and a lot of it is your own framework and perspective. That also, if I remember correctly, is one of the elements of Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Yes.
Yes.
Dave, it's the literal opposite of what you were saying before.
I mean, as somebody who rants a lot, I get that too. It's tough. So many ideas exist on a spectrum. For just so many ideas, if you talk about something that's missed, it's probably true that a lot of people are actually too far down that path. So much of it is contextual. It's difficult. Life is very complex. It's hard to pin down perfect axioms.
One point that Nat made was...
Okay.
She said that innies tend to thrive in
but this is the propaganda manual. Oh, this is dishonest then. This is the you aren't.
If I can get my ideas to severed workers all across the world, it might beget a revolution.
But these aren't your ideas. These are not your ideas, and also...
It's tricky. I need to know more. He is susceptible to flattery. That is the risk here. I think you could make it work.
Millions of copies of my book, and the life that manages to give us has somehow lost its appeal for you.
Oh, odd flex, Rickon. I don't think she really cares.
Babe.
No, thank you.
Okay. Some discordance there. A little bit of severance in the relationship. I think there is a way to do it if you're Rickon. I think the way is to not make any ethical compromises. That might prove to be impossible. It might turn out that you cannot satisfy Lumon with anything that resembles what you think is the truth. And if that's the way it goes, then you shouldn't continue. But I think it's fair to explore if both are possible at once. You're gonna need a lot of kelp to fix this marital strife. Hit her with some kelp. It's good to see Irving. This is not a cruise. Another lie.
I think they know what my Innie was up to. I'm telling you to... I have to go.
It would be crazy if they already knew each other.
Why are you following me?
Okay, they do not know each other. Wait, you met before at the door, though.
This thing when somebody shows up on my doorstep.
Okay, there it is.
Screaming my name. I want to know why. Call it a quirk. I got canned a couple of weeks ago. When I pressed them for a reason, they said my Innie had an unsanctioned erotic entanglement with another worker.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Interesting. Wow, they really pieced this together. It's starting to feel like fate at this point.
We had to cancel our trip to Milwaukee. Thanks for that. Fields. That's my husband's Fields.
Oh, yeah. Does love transcend severance?
Maybe you could, I don't know.
Want to go on a date to like a botanical garden or something? Or art gallery?
Might be nice if you come over. We could sit down. Talk through it all.
Oh, how about we exclude Fields?
You need a lift? I'll walk, thanks. You sure? I know where you live.
In many circumstances, that would be ominous, but looks like they made it after all.
They know people at the morgue, on the payroll like everywhere else in Kier.
You okay?
You feel all right?
Different phrasing, but we got there.
Are we gonna...
One more day. Usually that's best.
Usually, you've done this once.
That's a huge relief. Good that we're being careful.
You good on snacks?
For now.
Make yourself comfortable. Audi Mark takes a lot of risk.
Are they hurting her?
I don't know.
Yeah. She doesn't have a whole lot of life in which to hurt.
You're Audi.
What?
Oop. I didn't say anything. Weird. He just unlocked a memory of his wife after his wife's death.
Your Audi pays all of his gas and electric bills within 3 business days.
That's impressive. I thought you had to wait till the last minute.
Your Audi prefers 2 scoops of ice cream in a serving. But they must be the same flavor.
You had me in the first half.
Your Audi is going to be...
That's gotta be overwhelming. It's weird because it wasn't, I don't know if it was explicitly a memory. It was more like a memory of what she said, I'm guessing, combined with like a created image. It's just confusion. That didn't exactly happen. But whatever, it's still his wife that he hasn't seen and thought was dead. I really feel like this show has gone into a new amazing place over the last handful of episodes. It's suddenly getting like really, really rich and eerie in a new way. It's not just like the corporate eeriness and sinisterness of Lumon and the dull ache and dread of like work. All the characters are in some interesting places right now. Not all necessarily good, not all necessarily evil, just this weird Severance blend with so much left to say and so much left that's possible, and not necessarily happy, not necessarily sad. It could be anything and everything. Very interesting, very compelling.